This is the MTPredictor Weekly Market Update for March 30th. So basically the end of first quarter of 2014. Just watch on Monday tomorrow for those intraday traders. The last day of a quarter tends to be a tricky day as institutions are doing a lot of window dressing, getting their statements ready to go out to clients and so forth. So it can be a tricky trading day. But let's take a look at the S&P here. I'm just going to go through a bunch of stuff, probably fairly quickly. Not a lot much else to say here. Here is the weekly chart of the S&P. Again, we know we were wave 5 up here. Came right into the minimum wave 5 target. The decision point told us we have divergence up here as well as that decision point resistance level here. So we anticipated we would get some selling coming in here, and you can see we had the big red candle that followed the decision point signal there. That told us that sellers were overcoming buyers that week. They did take out the low of that red candle there, but this blue candle we did again anticipate we could get a rally that week because it was options expiration week, and about 70% of the time the market does rally into options expiration. And we also had a Fed meeting. And you can see we had an inside candle here last week that closed with the sellers overcoming the buyers. But what we're getting is, we have an up candle, a down candle, up candle, down candle here. And so we're starting to see, looks like distribution. This could go on. You're seeing a lot more volatility intraday, wider ranges, bigger moves. But the market's not really going anywhere. So it's kind of this distribution happening, and those stocks that were leading the beginning of the year, leading the markets, your biotechs, your Facebooks, these are starting to falter now, and so it's kind of being reflected in the chart here. Now this could go on for weeks, it could go on for months. So we're certainly again in an area where we could correct, and those that were short from the daily charts, from this area here, if we just look off of the red seller's candle where we would set up a trade there, you can see about 2.5 times your initial risk in that sell-off there. So as long as you're taking at least twice your initial risk, it's a good trade. If you were still holding, looking for target beyond that, stop would have been a break even, and had a break even trade there. Now in this little wave A swing here, I put wave B and I projected wave C up. So we'll see if they find this, maybe the minimum wave C target, and then as long as they don't take out the high here, we could have what we call a potential holy grail trade set up on the daily chart, expecting a potential big move down. We'll see how it unfolds. Again, we have a lot of resistance up here, and what we're seeing in the market is this kind of distribution and this big up day, down day, that kind of back and forth action. It could go on for a while with that increased volatility. So what that means is we could see false breaks to the upside and breaks to the downside that don't get follow through. You probably start seeing a lot of that kind of action here. Let's see let's just look at the Dow on the daily chart here. The Dow's in a little different position. It's probably the weaker of the markets. Your Nasdaq, your Russell are strong, then the S&P, and then the Dow here failed to make a new high. So it is the weaker market, which is interesting. Let's just look at the Nasdaq. I don't think we've looked at that in a while. Again, the Nasdaq hit some resistance there, has sold off. The weekly chart, I think we have our wave 5. It went beyond even the maximum wave 5 target into some resistance here before it started correcting there. And let's see, maybe we'll just look at the Russell. So we haven't done that in a while. The same thing pretty much with the Russell. This is the weekly chart. Nice rally into, well, let's look at the daily chart because that'll show us our support level here. Remember the high volume that came in, that told us professionals were stepping in and buying here in the Dow and the Russell, the S&P. Rallied into the target here, the resistance level, and rallied here into a wave 2 or B. And the question here now is, I projected wave C. Let me just look at the minor pattern. There's the wave 2 or B there. If we had an ABC correction coming up into here, we would then look for a potential wave 3 down. Since we didn't have that, I just projected the wave C here. We had some high volume coming in here on the black candle, followed by the blue buyer's candle. They did take the high of the blue buyer's candle out. This was just indicating that we may have professionals stepping in and buying here in the Russell. But we'll see now if this gets follow through. It didn't follow through, or didn't close very well on the daily chart there on Friday. But we'll see how things open on Monday here or Sunday evening in the futures, and now we'll see if this gets some follow through, or if they do start taking the lows out of that blue buyer's candle. We'll project wave 3 down and see where that target might come in. Alright, one we've been following for quite a while, been short, at least in the paper, you see, was the silver. Now this is the silver futures. I mean, you can be looking at SLV or whatever vehicle that you use to track silver, but the pattern here was that wave 4 looking for the wave 5 target. Stops are at break even since we achieved the 100% initial risk line. Here's your 50 period moving average, the red line there. We came into that resistance. We were looking for price when we got the red seller's candle there to see if we get things to roll over. They have. We broke 20. All right, sitting around 1980 on Friday's close. And we want to see if they can take out this. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Just clear all that off here. What I want to see is if they can take out this prior swing low. Now you're going to have a decision point right here. That'll come in around 1830. And if they can take that out, then maybe we do finally hit that wave 5 target to the downside. Now, I think it was on Thursday, purchase more physical silver. All right, because we'll be coming into a period, maybe May, June, where we might anticipate gold and silver to begin another rally. So I don't know, if, time-wise, we'll see if this continues to sell off here. Again, it's possible that the bottom was in here. I just thought with the pattern, given the pattern here and the way the silver reacted to the 50 period, that we may get a retest of this level, maybe get into the wave 5. I'd love to be able to buy physical silver, if the futures hit that 1750, 1760 level. Might be a nice buying opportunity. Obviously, you're going to pay a premium on the bullion if you're buying bullion, but to get the futures down to that level would be, I think, a nice potential entry point. And again, we'll see how they react if we get down there. What else is going on? If we anticipate we might have more downside, or if we have strength on our STF, indicating there may be more downside ahead, then maybe we see the typical wave 5 target down here. But right now we're just looking to see if they can at least test the DP down here and maybe push through to that 1760 level. All right, if not, like I said, if, I was buying in here where the wave 3 was, and like I said, I started buying again on I think last week, I think it was Thursday, the bullion anyway. Still short paper, so we'll see how that plays out. All right, and let's look at the dollar index. Here's the weekly chart of the DX. All right, here was the last buy signal, and this was a major low, that decision point on the weekly chart. and you can see once it reached the target here, it's really struggled in this level. Hit this level, which then sent the weekly trend down. If we take a decision point off of that high, you'll see that the next rally, oops, that's not what I want, reached the decision point off of this swing, again setting the weekly trend to the downside here. All right, now it's kind of flattened out here. It's kind of trading in a range right between the 250 period moving averages now. So, like I said, it hasn't been able to get through this level, and if we look at the Euro US dollar here, so the dollar hit major resistance, and now you've got on your weekly chart the euro has come into some resistance here in terms of the weekly chart. Now this is not a standard trade setup because our STF is blue, telling us that the larger degree trend is up here. But let's just check the pattern here. Just an ABC, so not a 5-wave pattern up there. But we'll see if it does in fact correct back to this level here. You got the 50 period did cross above the 200 period there, so the pullback here may be shallow. Maybe it doesn't reach all the way to that 34.15. But on the daily chart, if we kind of go back here, so once we got the 50 period again above the 200 period here, you can see buying is stepping in below the 50 period, above the 200 period, below the 50 period, above the 200 period, more buying coming in. Okay, same thing here. So we're getting in that area, like I said, maybe that pullback on the weekly chart where we have selling coming in, maybe it doesn't reach all the way to the target. Maybe it's a little more shallow, as maybe buyers are going to be stepping in here and purchasing as we come below the 50 period, above that 200 period here. So we'll see how that. I don't think this is going to be a. Yeah, it didn't have a pattern. This is pullback is a little too deep to give us a good pattern there, but we can see the next decision point support. If it does get down into this area, it may be a good area to look to be a buyer on the daily chart. We'll see how it comes in there. I don't know that it's going to get that far in, but we'll see. All right, and then an add last week to the option candidates was SNA, that's Snap-on Tools. The buy there at 110.87, closed I think Friday 112.20 there, so that's in good shape. Some of the others we'll probably get to next week. Not much movement there as the market's kind of consolidating, and so have these seasonalities haven't kicked in yet. At least hopefully they will. We'll see what happens. So we'll pick up that next week. Another full week of economic data, so should be good movement wise intraday for the day traders. Again, watch that volatility. We've seen a lot of that. And just to show you the kind of intraday action that we're seeing, here's the S&P. What it's set up here, you can see these high volume spikes came in. This indicated this was a significant low. It was also major support from the larger degree chart. And this rally we look at as potential wave 1. And the first ABC correction, if you remember, Elliott said, is the best time to be a buyer after a significant low. Wait for the first ABC correction because it's a potential wave 2, and we'd be looking for the big wave 3 move. So this particular day, we had a sell-off here, major bottom come in, and then a nice rally. Now it didn't reach the typical wave 3 by the time the market closed on this particular day, but even so, closed down around this area for about almost 7 times your initial risk. So let's say on a $375 risk, and take about up $2,500 by the end of the day there. And then that was followed by another important high here. All right, just the opposite, where we had a significant low back here with the rally, and then an ABC correction. Here we had a significant high with the sell-off, and then the first ABC corrective rally here. again, another holy grail. So if we put the analysis on this, so we had this big update prior, and then just the reverse. They basically gave it all back here on the holy grail trade to the downside in a wave 2, looking for the big wave 3 for another 8.7 times your initial risk, or again $375 risk, taking about $3,200 at the target there. This is the kind of action we've been seeing intraday, and that's why we're getting the up candle day, down candle, up candle, down candle, as we're seeing big moves. In these cases, wave 3 moves up, wave 3 moved down. In fact, we had another one that kind of went over a couple of days. Here again, a significant low here, the initial rally, the first ABC correction here, where this TS3 is on this particular day. Now this one, here's our wave 3 target up here. This one didn't move a whole lot this particular day, but you can see the next day opened up, rallied right to the wave 3 target there. So we've been seeing a lot of this back and forth action. And then on Friday, this TS2 here was our wave 4 heading into a potential wave 5. You can see there's the 1, the 2, the 3, the pullback in wave 4. So we get a sell signal here in wave 5, and we anticipate it should correct at a minimum back to the wave 4 DP to this level here. Okay, that held as support, rallied, and then things just fell off down here, basically into a 5-wave pattern down. So again, we anticipate a potential bottom there, and market moved higher off of that level. So this back and forth, up, down, we've been seeing that a lot lately, and this kind of illustrates how it looks intraday. But some very nice patterns, some very nice trading to be had, but can be a little more frustrating to the traders on the maybe the swing side of things. So anyway, hope that helps. We'll be back, take a look at things next week, and enjoy your week of trading in this beginning of the second quarter of 2014.